Alright, here we go. YouTube quick video update, or we're gonna call it a follow-up update of the last video I showed you guys on training the young birds. So today is about day 10 of training, and on about around this timing is when I like to let the birds just type of free roam, open the door for them, and just let them choose on what they want to do. We're not really going for the feeding. They already learned how to eat their food, and everything's going as planned. So what I like to do is I just like to open the door for them just like that and let them figure out what they want to do. As you guys may already notice, our tray isn't right in front of their kit box because we don't want them to be focused on food right now. I want them to look around and take observation of their surroundings. And then they do little things like that, like fly in and out. But I will show you guys what we did with our feed tray. So right around the time the birds already know their feed, the feed can, and the feed tray, what I like to do is I like to move their tray back far enough where it forces them to fly out of the kit box and actually maneuver that landing we were speaking about. So what I've done today is I've set my tray pretty far back from the kit box. And as you guys can see, they're flying towards it, and it actually forces them to maneuver that landing. As you guys can see, some are falling on the ground because they're still not all the way there as far as learning how to fly. So like I've mentioned in the past, it's very important to teach your birds how to land, and I will show you guys why in a few examples, like this little guy here. He didn't know how to land on the tray, so he just fell down to the ground. So that's part of their learning experience. A lot of people aren't going to share this type of information. It's just too much in depth, too much in detail. So it's not that they won't share it with you, it's just no one really cares to get in depth and technical with these birds. Unless you have somebody really good in your corner and they're really taking the time to teach you these things, then it just becomes a lot more easier to understand why the birds do certain things. You guys can see it is slightly windy, and I did this on purpose because it kind of grounds the birds a little bit. And if a bird were to get drifted off by the wind, then it's up to the bird to make it back, because I've already taught the bird to land and to come back home. So right now, I'm also testing these birds. I want to see if one will get drifted off in the wind and then make it back home. So it's something I do for myself, and just kind of what I do for my birds. It's just something I do, and it's something that's worked for me. So as you guys can see, the birds are playing around back and forth. I still haven't gave them any feed. You guys will see the change in drive once I put some feed down on the tray, because like I said, we've already taught them the can and the tray. So just like I mentioned earlier in the video, I did have a few birds take up into the air on their own, which is what we look for, because what this tells me is the bird itself is ready to fly, and they chose to take up on their own. So this is the fun part here. When birds start to make laps, they start to follow each other, start landing, and then hopefully the rest will follow. Now, as you guys can see, some of the birds are doing the back and forth from the kit box to the tray. And as you guys, if you guys do pay attention, some of the birds will get more confident as far as the back and forth flying. And this is exactly what you want before your birds take flight. Just to get them used to home. And like I said, the most important thing, we're trying to train them to land and understand their surroundings. So now that we've got some birds forced out of the cage, you guys will see these guys up here landing on top. And what they'll start doing is they'll start looking around and understanding their surroundings. And that's when you know your birds are starting to get homed. And then within the next 10 days, they should start taking flight. So on their first time out like this, what I like to do is I like to round them back up real nice and quick. Get them all on the tray. And once I count the birds that I have in this particular kit and I see that they're all down, I'll put the tray in their kit box and then close it up. Because what I want them to understand is every day what we're going to do is we're going to fly and we're coming back in. And we don't do nothing else. So it's something I do for my birds as far as repetition again. It just helps me with keeping the birds down and kind of keeps them where I want them versus them doing whatever they want to do. Alright guys, so just like that, we got everybody right back into the kit box. And now they're all waiting for their breakfast. And this is exactly how you want your pigeons. You want their full attention. You want them to be under your control versus them doing whatever they want, like I mentioned earlier in the video. And this group of birds to me is a team. I don't look at these pigeons as just a bunch of pigeons. Every single bird here means the same to me. I treat them all the same and I expect the same from all of them. And because I do that, it's really easy to pick out the one that's not following what I need them to follow. Majority of them usually do what they need to do. Not every bird is perfect. And because of the repetition, it just makes it very simple for me to identify the problem child. There's always a problem child. So so far so good. And really excited about this young team this year. I really like the way they've been responding to a lot of what have we been doing, training. Seems like this group is getting it together pretty quick. So if you guys would like to see more, or if you guys would like for me to show more, let me know what that is and I will try to cover some of that content for you guys. Gonna be showing a lot more as far as this group goes because I really want to show the start to finish of a kit versus a lot of these other guys on YouTube just showing you a bunch of random videos of random pigeons. I want to show you what it is like to train a group of birds from start to finish. And then, like we all know, some of these birds won't be here in the end due to the predator. But hopefully we keep as much of them as we can around so we can show you guys the development of a young team. And then, like I did say before, we're still training on 22% pellets. We will be switching their feed when they start flying as far as a group. That's when I switch their feed over to grain. But because maybe 2 or 3 are flying. But as a group, they're still not up and going, so it's not quite the time to switch their feed. And like I have mentioned in the past, these birds are on all you can eat 22% pellets, and this is what I train my birds on. And this particular method came from a very good pigeon fancier, Don Clark. He shared this information with me, gave me his idea of why it's best to keep them on 22% pellets while training, and it just made so much sense to me. And then over the past 6-7 years I've been doing it, and it makes complete sense on that information Don Clark shared with me, so appreciate that. So a lot of the things that do go into my training has been through experience, and then some of it has been shared with me through some of the great people that I know, and it just allowed me to advance a little bit faster. Really happy with the way this kit is looking also. Nice and healthy little birds we got here. So I'm gonna go ahead and let these guys finish up their meal, and I will keep you guys updated with the training we have upcoming as far as them taking up to the air. Comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think.